I can't believe they took our God-given right to laugh at Jose away. It doesn't even matter anymore.
I know, yeah. This should have been the Josie episode. I mean,
this was going to be the one.
so many. I can just already hear the clips I would have edited in here and there to fucking.
Doesn't matter what they do.
Yeah, oh man, he was the show. It was all building to him being
damn
sacked.
them to hell. And then because it was funny because they were like, okay, fuck him getting possibly winning a title, because you know that's what he'll say. Listen, facts are facts.
Yeah.
I want title at Spurs. They don't want title. Ipso facto, best manager they've ever had.
Yeah.
So like, no, not a chance. Not let them do that.
Yeah, as soon as they had money, they were like, get him out of here.
As soon as they got that big payoff, they were like, right, deal done. Get that fucker and all his hangers on. They sacked the whole staff as well. All of them were
whole staff.
Ryan Mason, who retired through injury, he's only 29, has now taken the reins. So I suppose we'll bit to him.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Fucking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Obviously, that's not the news we need to talk about. But I mean, is it all over? Is football over now? I mean,
this seems like peak game's gone.
I mean,
this seems like genuinely the old game is gone.
What other things could we do a podcast about?
Yeah, we're gonna have to come up with something. Because I enjoy doing the podcast, but I don't know. Could you give a shit about your Super League with no relegation?
I don't know. You know, like, because obviously I would follow the NBA quite closely.
Yeah,
so I know what it's like in terms of a league, like a franchise type style league. But I mean, it's a different culture in America. Like, not having a go, but like they don't have a lot of history. They don't have like long traditions, and you know, they move the teams around. Like, it's a different kind of an animal. I don't know. Fuck, like,
I don't think it'll happen though. Do you?
I honestly don't think it'll happen. They seem pretty gung-ho.
Some of the stuff they were showing on Sky Sports today is like, there's no way they're going to keep going with this.
Who is this for? At this point?
It's the 6 boys in charge. Like,
it's so like you sent me the branding of, and it's like from top to bottom, it's so amateurish.
Yeah,
the whole thing looks rushed, like that they just come up with this yesterday, even though they've been
that's why
months.
It seems like they're like, let's really act like we're doing it this time. Just really put the scare in them. But it seems like if that was the plan, it's totally backfired. Because did you see all the stuff about the UK government is now looking at bringing in regulatory stuff for football owners in England and the 50+1 rule and all those?
Yeah, everybody now is watching the money go out of their own pockets. You know, the British government, the Premier League, Sky Sports.
I think they flew too close to the sun, the evil billionaires. I think they fucked themselves, like.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, but fuck. I just feel like so kind of. I've looked at this more than I've ever looked at any podcast. I've never felt less prepared.
Yeah, it's too much. It's so much. It's impossible to keep track of everything.
But
did you see even the slightest thing of, like, even the smallest part of this story? Did you see that the head of UEFA's son's godfather is the president of Juventus?
who
betrayed him.
And apparently he was talking to him beforehand. He said, I'm hearing rumors, I'm hearing rumblings, and some pretty scary things. He goes, no, don't worry, all rumors, don't worry about that. I'll call you in an hour. And then he turned off his phone. I was like, Jesus.
They're so evil. Like, they're unabashedly evil.
And it's just the timing of it as well, when, you know, people literally, like, we started a podcast, we need football so badly. People need it more than ever. Like, we're literally clinging on to this for some bit of distraction.
Yeah.
And then they do this. It's like
It's-
you really don't care. Because before it's like this whole, the eat the rich kind of stuff, and all billionaires are bad. It's like, it's kind of a bit of nonsense. But now I get it.
Yeah, they're
How it
awful.
affects me, I get it. They're all really bad. Jesus,
And,
I mean,
could you imagine being like a proper, say, if you fucking lived in Manchester your whole life, or being like a season ticket holder, or if like your father was a season ticket holder? We're in a different country, and we're like, they can't do this to England.
like I think it is so mad. Like, you have obviously the Liverpool one has been, because it's kind of the most stark contrast of you'll never walk alone. It's like it's always very stark. But I mean, Barcelona also, Messi and club, more than a club, a corporation. Like, what does that
Way
mean?
more than a club.
Oh, it's more than a club, all right.
A bank.
It's fucking a lot less than a club at this point. So like, and the owners and have come in and used the kind of emotional capital they have with the fans, to line their own pockets. And then they said, as soon as there's the slightest dip in that, they go, right, we're ripping this away from the people that we basically took it from and used to get
let's
rich
give
from.
Let's give it to Americans, to China, to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
the games, people. I don't think people have seen much of that stuff, but the way they're like planning, obviously it's going to be played all over Europe. But there's talk as well of moving the kickoff times to suit different markets. So like,
oh my god,
that to me sounds like, the way when wrestling is on at 1 o'clock in the morning in America, like, or it's on at 1 o'clock in the morning here. That sounds like how it's going to work. Or it'll be on at 1 in the morning here, so that it's on prime time in America.
Well, I think that's what they figured out. It's like that. Okay, our audience traditionally was the Liverpool people in the city of Liverpool, or Manchester people in Manchester.
That could be everyone.
Through the pandemic, they're obviously looking at the books and looking at the Excel sheets, and saying, where are the eyeballs coming from? They're coming from Malaysia. They're coming from Lagos. Hugely populated cities around the world who support Man United and Liverpool and Chelsea. I remember seeing a thing a couple of years ago that Lagos sold more in Nigeria sold more Chelsea jerseys than London did.
Whoa,
that was years ago now. So like, they're seeing that now and think, well, it doesn't matter where the people come from. It's just a different market to them. They're just
especially when
customers.
the owners are American as well. Like, there's no affinity. Like, there's no reason for them to be attached to anything.
So yeah, I really, it does feel like this isn't going to happen, but then you never know. I mean, you kind of think, well, there wouldn't be billionaires if they were making rash decisions like this that were just completely going to fail all the time. Like,
and there's so much money down, like they're guaranteed already, where it's like, this is the TV deal. Those things aren't just like, we'll give you this if it happens. Those are usually like, agreed, we're doing this.
And the way they have them over the barrel as well, because you think, okay, right, kick them out of the Champions League, kick them out of their leagues, and because then you'll have Sky Sports and BT and all the other TV deals around the continent saying, well, we paid $5 billion for this a couple of years ago, based on the league that what was. Now, if all the top 6 teams are gone, it's not the same product. We want our money back. Yeah, and now you got legal issues with TV. Like, that will happen. You think, oh, but we'll all band 100%. Together. They won't band together. People will tear themselves apart. That's what they'll do first. 100%. So, and the clubs, and that's what I think the billionaires know, that they think we have the position of power here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're talking too much. We should just get into it. But what do you want to do?
I wouldn't mind doing the podcast just like this the whole way through.
No intro, just like fucking.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Like, good change of tone. Yeah,
I think people might like that as well, because like, I don't know how eager people are to listen to football podcasts at the moment. So it might be good to just, because it's blindsiding, like, Joe.
A breaking news special.
Finally, we're the journalists we always wanted to be.
Breaking news 2 days after the thing is announced on Tuesday.
Well, do you remember when we started this podcast and our idea was maybe sometimes we'll review funny movies?
We haven't got a minute to ourselves on this damn podcast. As if we have like bosses who are saying, no, you must report on Fulham and Arsenal. Like, no one's making us do this, but we're just drawn to the big stories. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think This is why you don't love anything. This is why you don't care about anything.
It'll only bite you.
Before this, we were very much casual fans. We had a passing interest. I feel jealous of people who don't care about football at all, who have no idea what's going on. They've lost nothing today.
Yeah.
And as soon as
if anything, they're annoyed at how much people are talking about it. They hate that.
As soon as we started doing a podcast, we're 13 episodes in, and the game is gone. The game is absolutely gone. That's all it took for us to care for not even 6 months, and they've taken away from us. That's the lesson I've learned here today.
Is that the quickest? Do you think we did this?
Hey, birds have loved and lost. And
well, God, maybe. I do have to say, off the record.
Yeah.
Nice job on leaking the Super League to put an end to England's Euros hopes.
Yeah. that was phase 3. We didn't even reveal that on the podcast. We were trying to start things up with the right back power rankings. That wasn't getting us anywhere. We had to step it up to phase 3. Destroy football as a whole.
Good luck, England.
And that is the other thing they're threatening players with.
Yeah.
Is that you won't get to go to the World Cup. You won't get to go to the Euros. Outside of Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't think players really think about their legacy that much. I think they probably think of the money that they're doing, and it's just kind of a job to them.
Did you see Ronaldo's post today on Instagram in the middle of all this?
No.
It was him in the dressing room with 2 Juventus players, I can't remember who, with his top off, flexing his abs. He doesn't give a shit.
Oh.
And the caption was like, work on, or hard work, or something like that.
That could be he definitely has a company who runs his social media.
A team, yeah. But that's a poor move.
Look, if it happened to Phil Foden after Cristiano Ronaldo too, they're all the same. Like it's not even a. Yeah, that I gotta look though. That's funny. That's fucking.
Oh man, the picture's gas. It's just so tone deaf.
Holding.
I think it was. I might be wrong. I think it was teammates.
Man.
I was literally thinking today. I was like, I wonder will Ronaldo or Messi finally kind of speak out about anything wrong in football, because they're silent their whole careers pretty much.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
Oh my.
How is that not a fucking breaking news thing everywhere? Look what fucking Ronaldo is doing at the moment. The
Aaron
face
Ramsey.
of football.
Aaron Ramsey with them.
Come on, man. Not
4
now.
hours ago. What the fuck? All the comments are just like a sea of bicep emojis. That's all I'm seeing.
Well, that's who the Super League is for. It's those people.
Well, this is the thing. Everyone, and I remember seeing at the election there, last year here in Ireland, and people kind of thought, "What? I thought everybody was voting for the person I was voting for." Some of the social media.
It's the echo chamber, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be an echo chamber. So, and I have seen it now more overwhelming than any election or anything I've ever seen before, in terms of everyone seems to be against this. But is everybody against this?
See, I'm sure everyone in England is against it, but the countries that set up for that we were talking about, we're not seeing their social medias. We don't speak their language.
Is everybody in England against it though? Are all
I think so.
Liverpool fans against it? Are all Man fans against this? Are they
sure.
as long as I'm in it, I don't give a fuck.
But I think maybe young people are thinking that, but I can't imagine anyone that's an adult doesn't see how wrong it is,
Yeah, but I will say, and I'm not even trying to be annoying or whatever, but we said it in the last episode, maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't. The semi-finals was Chelsea, Real Madrid, PSG, and City. Kind of not much romance in those ties.
Yeah.
And we kind of but we'll still watch it. You know what I mean? To a certain extent, say in a year's time, if we're still doing this podcast as a football show, are we going to be talking about who do you think is going to win the ESL this year? The Gazprom ESL? The Google ESL, Google streaming the fucking show. You know what I mean? Are we all just going to fall in line if they have pushed this through? If they do say, you know what, this is happening, we're bigger than you, and you're going to watch it because you're all just fucking sheep anyway. So
Well, I think that's why Sky probably went so hard on it in the last 2 days, is because they want to get that out to like the common man. Do you know what I mean? Of
yeah,
this is bad. We don't want this. Like, look at Gary Neville. He's crying on TV pretty much. Carragher's crying on TV pretty much. We don't want this. Klopp looked like he was having a nervous breakdown in his interview. Did you see that?
I did see that. Yeah,
He was really weird.
For anyone who didn't see it, we just watched there the first. We watched the pre-match there for Liverpool Leeds. It's about 9:15 now. We watched the first half. It didn't. I was saying, imagine if Liverpool walked off and some kind of protest, and that would kill dead. But I mean, the players just kind of get on with it.
Which is not what you want.
Became like a normal game. Now the Leeds players came out wearing T-shirts, that said, what's it say, earn it, with the Champions League logo on the back or on the front, and then it was fans for the football for the fans. I just watched it. I don't know why I don't remember anything I'm talking about.
It's because there's too much
something
going
about
on.
football and fans. I don't give a fuck. Anyways.
Steve Parish, the Palace owner, was on telly, and he was saying like he's a boyhood Palace fan and stuff, and he was like, the whole idea is you play, and the dream is one day to play in the Champions League. But he was like, and maybe it's a bit silly of me to have that dream, but then it's like, oh, why is this silly? Like that, it's only silly because it's already so far away from happening. Like, which that's the whole point, is that it's not an even thing. The Super League just kills it dead, but it's already like Palace are never going to get Champions League football.
No, and that's, you might say that's all sport in a way, but it is. And like the word Super League, European Super League, is not a new term to anybody. That's been going for years. I've been trying to push this for years. Financial doping, another phrase, a little buzzword that's been flying around your podcasts and news sites that you've heard for years at this point. And it's just kind of like, well, whatever, forget about that. We watched the FA Cup finals and watched the Champions League semi-finals, and we are the biggest culprits. We were saying last week, football was perfect last week. Don't change it. Because I mean that's what it is. It's the grand distraction for most people. Yeah, you just come in, you watch some great football. I mean, like, if you ever watch, like, because Sky is fucking terrible. Like, you'd have one game on every weekend sometimes, and they'd be showing like championship games or League One games. Like, oh, I'm hardly paying for this. Like, to watch fucking like, it's a different sport. Like, the pace of watching a League One game or League Two game and then watching the Champions League semi-final, it's a so much better experience watching that. So you kind of like put away your kind of, oh well, maybe PSG aren't the best club in the world, or maybe Man City's owners, because you watch the games, you go, oh, that was great. And before this, we used to just go back to our own lives and live our own lives. But like now, we're all just watching this, thinking, I can't believe they're doing this, but they've been doing this for years.
Yeah, like, it's lots of little changes building up to the one they want. Yeah,
and this is obviously a big change. That they're a genuine breakaway league where we're going to take our ball and play our own game, and you can play your little.
We can never ever be kicked out of it, no matter how bad we do,
Yeah,
or no matter how little money we spend as a club. Like, I'm sure the Glazers, that's their whole thing, is that we don't want to spend, we only want to take. Now they get rewarded for that. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you do, and like Barcelona are what, in $500 million debt.
Yeah,
and it's from mismanagement of funds. Like,
it's not because the game is unfair or they're not paid properly. It's because they're fucking shittily ran. Like,
and they spent millions on transfers that didn't work out. Like where's Coutinho even playing right now? Is he on loan at like 120 million for him? And it was like, you could see the way he played at Liverpool. He wasn't going to be the same as Iniesta or Xavi. So like, why even buy him? You know what I mean? Like, just that kind of like, we could spend that money. We can bring him in. If it doesn't work, we'll buy someone else because we're fucking Barcelona. You think of someone like a club like Norwich and how well they're run. They went down, they're right back up again this season. They kept the manager. Like, that's a well-run club. Will they be rewarded for that? No, they might even go down again next year. Like, it's totally like imbalanced. It has been for years.
Yeah.
So like, I don't see this as a new thing. It's obviously a big change, but I mean, how do you fix it? I mean, what would you do to change?
Yeah. Well, the things the government are talking, like the UK government are talking about bringing in, they're all sound like good changes, but like, they're so slow. That should have been brought in as soon like the Glazers never should have been allowed by United with the club's own money. That's an insane thing to do.
Yeah.
But as soon as that was allowed, then it just opened the doors for okay, anyone can do whatever they like. That should have been stopped, and then those rules are brought in to stop it happening again.
Yeah, and that's where I think they probably lie now in terms of they're trying to block this European Super League and European Super League.
Yeah,
like, and we always talk about in terms of it's not just a business, like it's a club, like there's fans stuff. It's like, well, in a much more real way, it is just a business. Like in a legal sense, it is a business, and you can't stop a business from doing a business. From doing business in a legal industry, which football is. It's an industry, and they're not doing anything illegal. And the EU is all about free travel and free trade and all that kind of stuff. So, well, this is why they've moved now, because they know the position that they're in. They know that they have the leverage. They haven't just gone into this blind. So, like they've spun a slow slide into this, and now people are saying, "Oh, we need to change things." Like, well, too late.
You should have stopped it before it got to this. Like again, me and you are not involved in the billionaire circles. I knew there was a Super League on the horizon for years. Like
everyone knew about the Super League was what they always wanted. Like, and the American owners and anybody who watches NBA or NFL knows that's how they do. I think in the NBA, I might be wrong now, but the New York Knicks, the New York Knickerbockers, are the only team who are the same team who started in the NBA. Like I think the LA Lakers used to be the Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah.
Like in terms of this, the
Supersonics are gone and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like.
the same teams. I'm not sure about the Boston Celtics or if they were always there, but I think from the original teams who started the NBA, and this isn't as old as the football league either. This is much later. But like that's their the way that they're set up. That's their whole culture, that they move to different cities and they fucking meet the friends that are going to be the friends rest of their life. It's a totally different culture than people who live in the same place, and there's history and culture. They all come back to here. They all come fucking back to Ireland to find their roots. People's roots are here. You can't take a club like some of these clubs started as mills. They were mill teams. I'm getting all this information from the English game on Netflix, but nevertheless, I think there's some truth to it.
Looking forward. They should just keep bringing out new seasons of that show that goes through the entire history of football, season by season. That'd be unbelievable.
Like The Crown.
There'd be 10 million seasons of it.
I honestly don't know what to even say about it, because
it's madness.
It's a story that's still changing. I feel like there's more to come out. I feel like there's
definitely
there's a big part I'm missing. Like
someone's gonna blink first, I think. Like whether one of the big clubs decides it's too much backlash and backs down, or if a player comes out, I think someone's going to blink soon. That might start changing things, but I don't know. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean,
what about the hero of Manchester, the only player of any of the Super League clubs to say anything, was Bruno Fernandes on his story, saying dreams cannot be buy.
Yeah, I don't know why he decided to Google Translate. I just put it into Portuguese. I would say.
I like that, because that kind of made me think that it was from him and not the Man United assigned marketing team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd love to see a picture of Bruno Fernandes just flexing in the man dressing room now. I was like, oh, well, never mind.
Hard work.
Attack today, get after it.
See you soon, Real, #ESL.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, it was a great hour of television. I'll say that the Neville stuff. I mean, fuck.
It's bad when Gary Neville is talking about the Glazers, because obviously he said he never said it because, I love Man United and stuff.
Yeah.
That man has probably been angling for a high-ranking job at Manchester for years. That's why he didn't say anything. There's no way he was fucking just like, oh, I just didn't want to rock, I didn't want to go against the club. He just didn't want to fucking lose a potential job in the future. But now it seems like he's past it. Doesn't care anymore.
I don't know what
he owns a club, so it affects him now.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Neville is the voice of the voiceless this weekend.
Millionaire Gary Neville.
But like he made some strange points as well, because he was like, I am an owner club. I'm not against people having money. I want my night of all the money, so I buy all the best players. I was like, well, no, like that is part of the problem. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he just like, and he made some comments before in because he obviously managed Salford, and they have been accused themselves of just coming in, him and David Beckham
Buying
and
the
another
leagues,
millionaire, something
yeah.
like, well, you're just investing loads of money in your team to beat us.
Yeah.
You're not doing it by.
They're just skipping to the Premier League. They're just like, let's get through this as quick as we can.
And Gary Neville obviously is then saying, well, I don't see anything wrong with that. If you have the money, you should spend it. I think, and he was like, well, what the Glazers did is buying the club within half money. That's wrong. Or leveraging something that you don't have, or taking out loans and on the base that you will win. That's wrong. But if you have the money, definitely pump that into clubs. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I don't agree with that at all either. I don't think you should just. Well, this is the thing. Once you cross the line, I mean, the GAA has showed this as well. It's like once you cross the line of professional, it becomes a business entity, and then you can't tell someone which way to do their business. You can have rules in your own organization, your own league, but I mean, that is not present in football at the moment. It's like if you have money and you can pump it in, then do, and we'll broadcast your games, and
the fans will love it.
Yeah.
Like Man City fans adore that club, I'd say now. Like,
yeah,
well, not now, but they did a few days ago, probably.
Well, this is it. A few days ago, everything was fine, but I think we're all just kind of like, you turn the blind eye to these things. I mean, I watched Seaspiracy the other day. I was eating fish the next day. I mean, even though I said I would fucking never eat fish again, but I think just I don't know. I thought. Oh, I don't even know. This is a terrible like ad hoc podcast, and like say most podcasts today are coming out saying, "Okay, we gotta report this breaking news." We took the whole day to try and piece together what we were going to say, and we have no idea. We won't even do a fucking intro for this. We just get like straight into the nonsense, and this is I don't know.
It's pretty funny. This is how like you could put this podcast from episode 1 to now.
Yeah.
In like a sports museum in 100 years of a document of how the game fell apart in like 2 months, because it's us like weekly being like, that's a bit weird, isn't it? And then the next week being like, this is happening a lot, and then this episode being like, what happened? Everything's gone.
I mean, last episode was a great penultimate episode to any series. Kind of like, Champions League is kind of, it's good, but I mean, the last few games and the last few teams left in it don't really bode well for the future football. Anyways, join us next week, and then the whole thing, the final finale.
Well, even a few episodes, there was some good foreshadowing. Where I remember I brought up the new Champions League change, like rule changes, and your words were, "Oh, why are they changing?"
And they are changing it, and that was another, again, like there's no structure on this. We haven't done this well at all, but like a lot of the players, the big players, Ed Woodward, your man from Juve, Angelino, is it?
Angelino, I believe, yeah.
Definitely not. Fuck that up.
It is. I can't describe how angry it makes me that fucking Ed Woodward is at the front of this as well. It's like he's just been sent to Earth to just wreck my head for like 10 years. Just every week he does something that annoys me.
Andre Agnelli.
Yeah. Juve. We'll cut that.
Yeah, we'll cut it slightly, kind of. Yeah, they were at a meeting, I think. They were at a meeting for the proposed UEFA change the Champions League, where they were opening it to 36 teams, and they all agreed and gave the thumbs up, knowing the whole time that they were planning this betrayal, this ultimate red wedding type situation, where they're going to stab everyone in the back and just have a breakaway European Super League.
Yeah,
and it's not even a European Super League. I mean, it's all very like 3 London teams is hardly European.
Well, give it a few years, then it'll be all London teams in England, I would imagine, is the plan.
Yeah. I mean, they think that they will start off with these 12 teams, and then
there's 12 now, and then there's 3 others apparently that are signed up but the news hasn't broke yet who they are. So
it's not Bayern,
I'd imagine Dortmund. Yeah, and it's not PSG, because PSG are linked with beIN Sports, who obviously aren't going to be broadcasting this. So
Yeah,
that's the only reason they're not in it.
They're PSG owned by the same people who own beIN Sports, and they're partners with the UEFA, broadcasting partners for Champions League.
Because I don't know if you saw Rio Ferdinand complimenting them on not joining up, but like, that's why they would. Otherwise, they'd fucking snatch that up in a heartbeat. Like,
oh, well, this is the whole thing. This is the whole issue. It's just
every club would.
It's all about money. Like there's nobody standing up for the heart and soul of football, or football heritage. It's not that. It's fucking, well, where's the money in my pocket going? And if it doesn't make sense for me financially, then apparently City and Chelsea were initially opposed to us. And then they went, well, what if we miss out on this?
Yeah.
We don't.
I suppose because they don't need money. They're fucking gazillionaires. Like, they don't need money at all.
But they're thinking of the future of the business model of their club. Like, well, we'll be on the cold outside. We'll be locked out of this money machine. And that's the real issue, that these clubs will just become infinitely richer than the other clubs in the Premier League or in any other competition they're in. And it'll bring the financial doping to a stratospheric new level. So, like, there's no way Crystal Palace will ever get near that, or anybody else for that matter. So, I mean,
I wouldn't mind it as much if it's the relegation thing that bothers me. Because, look, if you want to do all the super teams get really rich when they're in the Super League, but then have it where 3 teams get relegated and 3 teams go up. Because then it's like, okay, it's stupid money and it's ridiculous, but at least there's a reason to try stay in the league. Like, because otherwise it's like you're just getting money for nothing. You don't have to invest anything.
Yeah, I mean, because you might say that, oh, well, the Premier League is a breakaway league because they shortened the amount of teams in it in 1992 and changed the whole thing. But, like, you could still go up and grow out of it, as Leeds have shown.
Like, and Leicester won the league.
And Blackburn.
Like that. Yeah.
They won the league in 94-95, and are they even in the Championship now? You know what I mean? Like, and that's because, and you get punished for not having a well-run club. So
like Wigan, Portsmouth, they're gone, like, pretty much, like.
So, like, that's the kind of the competitive edge to it, and like, it does. Yeah. I think that is the real issue. It's like that.
Yeah.
When you're not running your clubs well, you get punished. There's consequences, and it's like, well, you should have been more financially responsible, because it's the fans' club. It's they're the ones going to watch. But like, if you just have your own European Super Club, Super League, you can't get relegated. You can't get promoted. You can come bottom that league, and then the next year away you go again.
Cares?
You
guaranteed
make the same money
every year. Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing. They're like, they want to guarantee the money because they think. And look, it's when you look at the teams that are involved, like, obviously Real Madrid, Barcelona make it pretty much every single year, but the 2 Milan teams, I went through a spell there, not going into
AC Milan, like, they
went for a long spell of not getting Champions League. Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham, all been in and out over the last 10 years. They've been, have missed out. Have been, against the whole elitism towards the Europa League. It's obviously driven by money more than anything else. Obviously, the media helps that as well. But, like, it's just guaranteeing yourself probably a quarter of your income every year from the Champions League. It's like, well, if you don't, no one asked you to run a football club. If you don't like the unpredictability of it, then fucking run a diamond mine or a fucking cotton field. You fucking, like, absolute bastards.
Yeah,
absolute
bastards. Are scum, absolute scum.
But like I say, it's UEFA. Jesus, they're not blameless in this at all by any stretch. Like, this is your fault. You oversaw this. You let this happen.
And as well, it's the now they're talking about the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
And how players are going to be banned from the Qatar World Cup. Like,
that's the thing. That's FIFA and UEFA are the same fucking. How many?
It's just like, you're not allowed to do the evil stuff. We do the evil stuff.
Like, some of the transfer bans have been related to, like, underage players transfers. Like, you might say, players they know what they're getting into. But, like, you're promising kids the world. Promising, like,
Diallo, who plays for United, he was trafficked to Italy when he was 12, apparently.
For football.
And that's how, for football. That's how he started his career. His parents sold him to someone in Italy. Now he plays for Man United, like.
And, like, that's one of the success stories. How many kids are trafficked that didn't get fucking anywhere? Yeah. That's the integrity of football. That's where it becomes a business, and you think, this isn't good for people. But, like, I'm already seeing, like, an England team from outside the European Super League.
Who's on it?
Like people are just like rage. It's like, well, let's move on.
It's been a day.
Yeah. And there's like, this is the thing. This is football fans. Like people in the comments, no James Justin. It's like, why are you arguing about this?
Yeah. There's bigger things at stake.
I'm pretty sure you might find Ben Godfrey's a better bet instead of Tyrone Mings or Matt Target. Otherwise, I'm okay with that squad. Kind of feel like this might be more. Like people just like this is what I mean. Like there's a lot of people outraged immediately, kind of like this is outrageous. What game?
Anyway,
what time is it on though? Is it like on a Tuesday or Wednesday nights? I train myself on a Tuesday night, but I watch Wednesday night games. You know, like it doesn't affect me directly.
They're going to be playing Madrid how many times a year? God,
like
that'd be good though, once or twice, won't it?
I'll say this: what if it goes ahead? They force it through. Are you going to stop supporting Man United?
It feels like it. At the last 2 days, I couldn't give the slightest shit about them because it's like the fight. Because now, if this was like the first thing and I was like blindsided, I'd be like, oh, I can't believe this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd probably still. But because this is like every year, there's something else like they're doing. They're like taking this out of the club, or they're sacking this person involved with the club, or they're changing the names of stands, or they want to do this. It's just like it's not the same club anymore. It's fucking. Yeah. It's like Gary Neville was saying, the owners are just scavengers. Like it's just they pick off it. They don't give a shit about it. I don't know if you saw the quotes from one of the United board members today that leaked. From I think it was in the Athletic, but it was like a big long spiel about how the United board feels about it. And one of the quotes in it was, some of the board members feel this is akin to when Matt Busby forced United to go to Europe because the FA didn't want that at the time. But they're saying but he did that because he was like, England are good enough to play in Europe. It wasn't like we're good enough, but no one else is allowed to come. He was doing it for everyone, kind of. But the fact that they're comparing the two things, especially when he fucking nearly died in a plane crash, then doing it, it's just insane. Like it's what the whole club is built on, is European football.
I'm sure you've seen over the course of the pandemic, there's been loads of reports of the top 5 billionaires. There's probably more than that, have become 50 million times richer. Just enrich themselves over the pandemic, and it's kind of this, and a lot of them is probably supermarket moguls and a lot of the online stuff, Google and Amazon. Obviously, Jeff Bezos becoming very rich because everyone's because our way of life has changed.
Yeah,
but it's this kind of feeling of that's not a good thing. That's a wrong. You get a sickening kind of feeling, almost as if you could feel something like this happening. Not that again, people say it's just football, it doesn't affect anybody outside of people watch it, but it's kind of, it feels like a kind of monumental shift in everything. That there's a lot of people out there now, and it wasn't always the case, that have more power than big countries. Obviously, there's always been people who've had than smaller countries. Like Ireland is a smaller country, but countries like Spain and Germany, you wouldn't have individuals who own countries or who own companies who could just supersede laws and organizations that are longer than their entire family tree. You know what I mean? They've just they've enriched themselves so quickly and so fast and so much.
There's no stopping them.
There's no stopping. They can literally do whatever they want. It's too much power. Power corrupts. That's what any study of human history will teach you. So it is kind of scary. This feels kind of insignificant in the grand scheme, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just kind of a precursor to, if you can believe, worse times. It's football now, but what is it tomorrow? What if it's well, actually, Amazon doesn't actually abide by any country's laws.
We don't have to pay people,
Tax is not really something we believe in. And
we're starting our own country.
You're going to still buy our stuff. We know you are.
It's just easy.
That's the whole feeling from this. It's we're the biggest club. People are having to go at Spurs, particularly Arsenal too. It's who crowned you fucking kings? It's we did, because we're rich enough. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to deserve it. There's no deserving anymore. We have the
Yeah.
money, and you are going to bow down to us. You're going
Yeah.
to do what we say. It's like, if it's football now, like, it's scary to think
Yeah.
about that. Like, to think of like someone like Jeff Bezos. Oh, well, he wouldn't do that. It's like, well, why wouldn't he? Why mightn't he?
Yeah.
To say, well, I don't want to pay tax anymore. I'm going to start my
Yeah.
own thing, and you're still going to buy my fucking stuff because it's still the
Yeah.
best, and we've bought every other company, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, like the Prime Minister of the UK today said he's going to try everything in his power to stop the fucking owners of Manchester United. Like,
To stop football
what?
clubs.
They shouldn't be on his radar. Like,
And this is, like I say, England are a big country in terms of GDP and power in the world, and now they're like, we'll
they
do our
must be
best.
stopped.
Yeah, like, but like this is Bond villain shit. Like,
Yeah.
you can't. Like, we'll try and stop them. You will try. You've lost jurisdiction in your own country. We're going to try and stop them.
Sky Sports cannot control what's happening in football anymore. They're on telly begging the clubs to stop. Like,
They were asking Paris there, can the 14 clubs stop the 6?
yeah, please.
Like, is there anything that anybody can do? It's just like, it is a scary thought to think that we are just, going about our own lives, and we really are more powerless than we've ever been.
What about you? Are you going to stick with Arsenal if it goes through?
Oh, I'd never leave them well. I don't know, man. I don't know,
like, I'm sure over time I'd come, but it's just I've no affinity for them anymore because, like, I'm not associated with them. Like, they don't give a shit about me. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely more fun watching a game or watching a sport when you have skin in the game.
Yeah.
That's what it is essentially. You're not from Manchester, and I'm not from London, so I mean, it's not like it's a local club where I grew
nah,
up
it's
there.
just what you grow up watching, pretty much.
You kind of think, yeah, that's kind of my. It's like when you fucking pick a horse and go on national, really.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I hope my horse wins. I didn't train that, but like by the end of the race, you're shouting for that horse. Even though you have money on it, like it's fun to pick something, be part of it. But
like Gustep, the bandwagon wheel.
yeah, that's literally the whole point of the band. Hey, I mean, you might skip past the bandwagon wheel, folks, but I bet you're happy you know a team now that you can latch onto.
Yeah. They'll never leave us. Do you think Gustep would take it if they were offered?
Listen, Gustep know about the football pyramid. Back to back to back to back relegations.
I'd say if you had asked them back then, do you want a league with no relegations? They'd be like, oh my God, please.
They know the value of it. They know better.
You know who this might benefit if they're if they're shit together at all, this should be the best thing that ever happened to the League of Ireland.
Well, they don't.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Pretty sure they don't. I don't know anything about maybe.
I picked the team today in League of Ireland.
Oh, who you pick?
Bowes, oldest club in Ireland, I think. And I didn't know this until I looked at their Wikipedia. They're 100% fan owned, and they're linked with FC United of Manchester. The like anti-Glazer United club that's fan owned.
Yeah, the yellow
So
and green guys.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, cool, I'll go with that. That sounds good. Like, why not?
I don't know, man. I like, again, it's fine to support for me. It seems weird. It seems like it makes no logical sense, but like to passionately support Arsenal, a team that I don't know anybody from there. Listen, if I met some like proper Arsenal fans, I might go, fuck this.
Gobshite.
Like, I know Dublin people, and it's just like Dublin, because Carroll played Dublin in the GA, like, so it's kind of like I can't support them. I know them too well, not in a bad way. Like, it's like if there was a fucking.
You've no affinity for them.
I have no affinity for people of London. I don't know them at all. I do know people from Dublin, so I can't support them. Not that I hate them. It's just I know you. Like,
you're not one of them.
You're like, I'm from Carroll. You're from Dublin, so I'm going to support Dublin team. Whereas it's like, well, you're not from London, but like London to me could be fucking. It could be fucking.
It might as well be on Mars.
Might as well be on Mars. I'm not going to be there. I don't fucking know anybody there. I'm not going to have to walk down the streets of London anytime. But like, I might have to walk.
You're not going to have to prove yourself as a fan.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing to me. FBI. I think that's if there was a local team, yeah, absolutely you would. You'd support them anyways. You support them and someone else maybe. But like when someone else in like, I'm going to support Dundalk. Who gives a fuck? Like, I mean, I'm going to support like a team from Louth. Like, it just seems weird. Support a team.
It's because the country's so small. I guess.
Yeah.
It's and there's that. It's the whole parish thing as well of like
Yeah.
you really do are like all of the other. You feel like all of the other places are kind of full of gobshites, but my place, it's like it's my own thing.
Yeah, we live in Springfield. They live in Shelbyville.
Yeah,
Everywhere else is Shelbyville.
Yeah.
Those guys are freaks. Yeah, I don't know. I do think though it's not going to go through. I don't know. I have a feeling it's not going to go through. But maybe it's because we've conditioned to think that. Like we've seen the European Super League so many times.
Yeah.
It's been talked about for years. It's never happened. Even this shit yesterday or on Sunday night, and they were meant to make the announcement at 9:30.
Yeah, it's like, who cares?
It didn't come out. And I was like, yeah.
Cowards.
Fucking ballers. You're absolute bullshit. It's not going to happen. It came out then like at 2. And we would text each other the releases. And I was like, this is mad. Like, this actually happened. But, like, it's just, I still think nobody wants it. You're having mass protests. You had Jurgen Klopp today saying that he's not for it. And what you can do, sack Jurgen Klopp?
Yeah, then you really have trouble on your hands. Like, fans, because I know fans aren't at the stadium, but that's because they haven't had a chance to be properly organised protest yet. I think Gary Neville had a good point, and he said it without saying it, where United are playing Liverpool in 2 weeks, and he's like, if it wasn't for COVID, that's the game where you do the march. But he's like, but obviously, but I think he was like a very thinly veiled.
Yeah.
All United Liverpool fans fucking at that game go protest that. Like,
yeah.
I think once that starts happening, it just doesn't look good on clubs. Like, you don't want to be associated with that.
Yeah, because this is the kind of thing they do, like a walkout, but obviously there's no one there, so it hasn't been there for years, so no one even remembers what people look like. When I see clips on Instagram or Twitter of like, Ronaldinho or someone like doing unbelievable stuff in the stadium, and like the stadium's full, it still catches my whoa, like look at this clip. Like just seeing people in the stadium was just bizarre to me. Still, I'm like, oh, fuck,
is this from the 1800s?
Whoa, well, look at that! Look at all those people. It's like. So yeah, those you can think of all the in Wenger we rust. The 3 rats at Chelsea, another classic. Like fans do, or the a dozen different planes that had gone over United from miles.
There was one at the Liverpool game today.
Yeah,
classic. That's the best.
That's a classic.
Is there anything less effective than the plane?
What's that? I can't read it. It says. More, I can't read it. All right, back to the game.
The sun.
Come on, Pogba, fucking shift yourself.
I was laughing because during the United game was when the story broke, but something happened in that game that I think would have been top news on this podcast if not for the collapse of football.
Yeah,
Dean Henderson was wearing a cap, and I'd say we would have talked about that for about 10 minutes.
Or in goal.
Yeah, like an old school. Like, remember Kirkland? He used to wear the cap.
Yeah.
And I was just laughing, like, if football hadn't collapsed, this is the level of conversation we would have been having.
Oh, well, there's loads of stories. You see, after the Copa del Rey, all the Barcelona players getting pictures of Messi after.
Yeah,
that was bizarre. I mean, they were literally like Frankie de Jong was there, get a picture of Messi holding the cup. It was like a photo opportunity. You've been there all year. It's like, I guess maybe they thought like, no, he's leaving this time. They must know he's leaving.
Well, he's not leaving now, probably.
Yeah, well, maybe it's changed now. But at the time, they probably thought, I can say that I played a Messi and won a trophy with him. So here's a picture of me with the trophy.
Yeah.
Because like they were all, it was hilarious. Everybody didn't see it. They were all like, after the game, they had the Copa del Rey, they had like the t-shirts on, the championship t-shirts, whatever. And then one by one, they're all lining up to get a picture with Messi and the cup, like it was like a fan opportunity.
They play for the team.
They play with them. It was at starting players. It was like say all the young lads. I don't think PK and Alba got one. I think they're like Frankie de Jong and
embarrassed to see that more than likely.
And Dest and all those boys were lining up, hand on the shoulder, get a picture of Messi and the trophy. All right. I think they probably thought he's leaving for sure. It might be changed now. But that was fucking hilarious. His goal actually, that was unbelievable. Roll back the years for that one.
He was so good. Who gave him the assist as well? Because that was savage as well.
Yeah,
it was like the deftest little pass.
Very crisp passing there.
Unreal.
That was the 6th Copa del Rey final in a row that Atletico Bilbao have lost.
Oh,
6
man,
in a
that's
row.
tough.
Jesus.
That's something you don't get over.
And
Well, they don't have to worry about it now. They're going to be in every Copa del Rey final.
yeah, and they'll probably win the league, I'd say, Atletico Bilbao.
They'll win 10 in a row. Like, who's going to win the league now in the Prem if those teams go? Leicester?
West
West
Ham.
Ham, Jay Lings.
What
do you think?
Now
what
he
do
has
you
a
think's
decision
going
to
through
make.
his
Now he's
Super
got a decision
League?
to make, yeah.
And he's a player who's going to want the Super League, isn't he? That's what he's all
Hey,
about.
the
He's
Super
box
League wants
office.
him. The Super League
Yeah.
wants dancing Jesse Lingard every week. He is box office as it gets, man. He's a star. Damn. Jay Lings in the Super League. Who'd have thunk it?
10 million people watching in the stadium in Abu Dhabi as Jesse Lingard scores no goals and no assists for United.
Yeah, but he's busy. You know.
Yeah.
He's busy on the pitch. He's
working hard.
He's everywhere and nowhere. Yeah, man. So, I guess we should talk about Jose a little bit as well. I mean,
yeah, because that is the big one, really. It would have been
the Jose Mourinho. That was coming for a long time, surely. I mean, I think once he said same team, same coach, different players, that was go on, sack me, I dare you. Like that was, you know, what more do I have to do than blame the players publicly and interview after a game against Newcastle? They drew with Newcastle.
I saw there was, I don't know what writer it was. It might have been The Athletic again.
Yeah.
But there was a headline that I'd say has been in the drafts of this journalist since like January. But it's like, at Tottenham, it's one thing to park the bus. It's another thing to throw the players under it.
Oh, yeah. That was written before even fucking officially signed. Anybody could wrote that. That's poor design. I give that 6 out of 10. Loses marks for unoriginality.
There's no way he's the first person to say that either. No way.
No. I mean, did he coin that phrase in
I think so, yeah. I think so.
He always says this, as we say in Portugal, and people in Portugal are like, we never say that.
Park the bus. What's a bus?
I think they have bus in Portugal, but I mean, yeah, there was like the same way at the weekends, like as we say in Portugal, bread is bread, cheese is cheese. I did a quick Google search, didn't find much of it now, to be honest. It's as an old shanokle in Portuguese. You saw the quote from Kefren. We might be naive in not knowing we have snakes close to us. Now we do. There will be legal action soon.
Oh, that's cool, isn't it?
Says he's spoken to FIFA President Gianni Infantino, who was supportive and is due to speak tomorrow. No but rats and snakes in this game, Will.
Yeah. Oh man,
that read like a kind of a vague book post.
Yeah.
Sometimes you like to find out who's the real snakes in your life, and you have to cut them out.
His next fucking tweet is going to be, guards have my phone, no one ring me.
Oh man, he just fucking post a Joker meme next.
Oh man, I'd say that, dude.
Yeah, fuck man. There was I mean, look, for anybody who's waiting for our FA Cup coverage, you know, sorry, that's not gonna make.
I don't know if it exists anymore. So
yeah, we just watched the final between Leicester and Southampton. Congratulations to Leicester on winning the FA Cup.
Congratulations to PSG, Leicester, Villarreal, and Roma in the Europa League final. Probably.
Oh fuck yeah, Arsenal had that now too.
At least the cursed game never happened, Carl.
Yeah, that's true.
It was too cursed. It couldn't happen. Football had to end.
Like, you think of, like, you know, the owner of United and of Arsenal particularly, and all the media being like, this is their best chance of getting into the Champions League. And they're the whole time knowing they're going to start their own breakaway league. Like, yep. Hope we get into that Champions League. That's going to be fun next year.
Why would, oh man, the players would have to be, I never thought of that. Players are probably fuming about that. What have they been bothering for all year?
Like Arteta, like all the sleepless night, Arteta have like stressing over
relegation at the start of the season. Didn't matter.
Like texting Saka at like 4 a.m. How are you feeling now, big man? How's the knee? You right for train tomorrow, or what do you think? Here, put.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?